it's a work in progress. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is written and directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, Pom Klementieff, Elizabeth Debicki, Chris Sullivan, Sean Gunn, Sylvester Stallone, and Kurt Russell. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the 15th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the third installment in the third phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, after I saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy 3 years ago, I was already looking forward to this sequel, and when I saw the trailer, I knew this film was going to be a lot of fun, but I still had my worries before I went and saw this sequel. I say this because the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a tendency of having sequels that are not as good as the original. The only exceptions to this case are Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This latest installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a blast. I had a lot of fun with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I also want to give a special thanks to my friend Eric and his mother for inviting me to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with them. And he also treated me to lunch, so again, thank you. Tucker was getting fidgety and he's also shedding his fur. Visually, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 looks fantastic. Now, there is some CGI that is used in this film, and some of it does stick out like a sore thumb. Fortunately, it does not overstay its welcome. This film is shot very well, and bonus points for having shaky cam for an appropriate reason, and only done once. The film score was composed by Tyler Bates, and his musical composition is fitting for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But that's probably not what you want to hear when it comes to me talking about this film. You probably want me to talk about Awesome Mix Volume 2. Now, I'm not going to give away which songs are used in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but what I can say is that I really appreciate how the playlist in Awesome Mix Volume 2 is different from Awesome Mix Volume 1. There is no songs that are reused for Volume 2, which is a smart move. Like Volume 1, I love the music that was picked for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The biggest praise that I have for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 are the characters. I liked them in the original Guardians of the Galaxy film, but I love them even more in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. What's even better is that this film does explore where some characters are coming from. If you like the characters in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, this sequel is rewarding. Star-Lord is just as cool as he was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but this film does give him an extra layer. Drax is a lot funnier in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and he steals most of the comedic scenes in this film. And I can tell Dave Bautista was having a lot of fun with Drax this time around. Rocket Raccoon is just as great as he was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. You are welcome to go "Aww" on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't deny it, Baby Groot is adorable. As for other characters, I was glad to see Nebula come back for this sequel. As for Yondu, he was great, and I like how this sequel gives him more than what he was given in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. Yondu was awesome. Mantis was a nice addition to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The overall acting is on point for the most part, but I would argue that Karen Gillan does overact quite often in this film, but I'm actually okay with it considering the character arc that Nebula goes through in this sequel. Forgive my impression, but let's talk about Sylvester Stallone. It's nice to see him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. However, his character is just there. Maybe they're setting him up for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, that was bad. As for the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I can assure you that the opening scene will get you in the mood for the film. However, after the first 10-15 minutes, the film will slow down. And I'm actually okay with this considering that they need to pave the way for the rest of the film to follow. So it is methodically slow, but I can understand if there is some contention with some viewers concerning that first act of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, and I still think it's a lot of fun, and it was a nice addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in 2014. But I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 even more. This sequel is just as energized in its fun factor as the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. It's even funnier. But when the third act kicks in, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 gives you more than just a fun experience, which gives me another reason for me to love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. My only gripe with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 happens to be a very minor spoiler. However, this factor was shown in the trailer, but only very briefly. But I have to go into this for just a moment to explain why this is a bit of a gripe of mine with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. There are these gold people that appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, I was okay with them at first, but as the film went on and the more I thought about what role these gold people serve in the film, I found them the most pointless part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Why are they pointless? Because they don't do jack shit throughout the entire film. Like Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is an improvement from its predecessor. Now, I know some people may like the first Guardians of the Galaxy film more than the sequel, but I actually think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is better than the first one. But regardless of what people may think of either film, I think we can all agree that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a standout sequel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a freaking fun time. Except we wouldn't say freaking. I am going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a 9.5. If you like this review, feel free to hit the like button. And if you want to follow my channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you have seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, feel free to tell me what you thought of it in the comments section down below. And thank you for watching my review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I will see you in the next. No.